last concept. So in this unit is a virtual memory. So this is introduction about the virtual memory is there in your syllabus. Okay, so just I'll give the brief introduction about the virtual memory. Actually, why we will make use of the virtual memory. Okay, uh, shall I continue? Virtual memory, last concept in this unit. Is it
Yes,
okay?
sir. Continue, sir.
Okay, so before going to discuss about this concept, just I'll tell you, you are able to see screen, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just I'll try to
Virtual memory. Yes, sir.
I'll try to make the concept simple. So suppose if you are going to execute very big program, okay, you are going to execute very big program, and the RAM memory is not able to accommodate all the instructions uh, in the size. So in the RAM size, it is not able to accommodate all the instructions. Okay, so in that case, so it will have a problem like running out of space. Basically you'll see this kind of scenario in Android mobile phones. Okay, with the 2 GB RAM, suppose if you are going to install any applications, it will show some disk error, right? uh, it will say storage out of space, clear some space, it will tell. Have you faced this problem anytime? Mobile phone, storage out of space, it will show with some disk error. In, yeah, in this case, if you want to install any new application, you cannot install. Why? Because instructions are already filled up in the RAM memory. Okay, we need to take support from the other memory, then only we can install the new application or we can execute the program. Okay, but we cannot increase the RAM size dynamically there itself. Is it possible to increase the RAM size? Whenever you want to increase, you can increase the RAM size.
No, sir. No, sir.
You cannot increase the RAM size, so that is the biggest problem. Okay, so this scenario is there previously. Now, why I am calling it as a virtual memory? Suppose if you have any facility to extend somewhat RAM memory by taking help from the some other memories. Okay, so that is not actual one, but we are trying to create one illusion that this is RAM only. We are creating one kind of the illusion that this memory is this program is running in the RAM memory, but it is not running in the RAM memory. It is running somewhere else. Okay, we that operating system will take responsibility of this, and it will provide some other space for the RAM memory, and there it will run the program and it will execute it. So that illusion and that kind of memory we are calling it as a virtual memory. Okay, now what it will do, from where it is taking the data? Simply it is taking data from the hard disk. Okay, so the RAM memory, from RAM memory it is extending somewhat to the hard disk. Okay, disk space, and there it is creating some more data. Okay, like if it is 1 GB RAM and 500 MB, it is creating in the hard disk, and that 500 MB, whenever the 1 GB is exceeded, it will make use of that 500 MB from the main memory. So without our knowledge, it is providing 1.5 GB RAM. Okay, just I am giving one example. Without our knowledge, it is providing 1.5 GB RAM, but 0.5 GB is from the hard disk. That 0.5 is a virtual memory. Are you clear? That 0.5 is
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
that 0.5 is a virtual memory. Okay, who is managing all these things? The operating system is going to manage all these things. That 0.5 will be calling a virtual memory, and now the program can be executed by the processor comfortably without any errors. Okay, and two terms I wanted to tell you here. The memory which we are using, the memory addresses which we are using in the RAM will be called as the physical addresses. Okay, the memory addresses which we are using in the RAM will be called as a physical address, and the memory addresses which are mapped or created extra on the hard disk will be called as a logical addresses, virtual addresses. Logical are the virtual addresses. Okay, so why I am calling it as a virtual or logical? Because it is not existing in the real time. Okay, once the program is done, it will remove everything. Based on the convenient, the operating system will decide all these things. So that's what I am calling it as a logical address. So what is the physical address and where we are using? The physical address is in the RAM memory and the logical address is in the virtual memory. The where the operating system is going to create the extra stuff. So the all addresses will be called as a virtual address or the logical address. And the physical addresses existing in the RAM, so we can access it. That's what we are calling it as a physical address. And one point to remember here is all the information will be stored in the form of pages in virtual memory. So if entire memory is divided into the form of page, then that can be called as a paging. Okay, like textbook you will have different pages. The memory also will have the different pages like that. So that type of memory we are calling it as a paging concept. And if entire memory is divided into form of segments, okay, segments. So that kind of memory we will call as a segmented memory. So the virtual memory will follow either the paging or segmentation. Okay, these are the two more terms. The virtual memory is having either paging and the segmentation. These are the 2 marks questions. What is paging? What is segmentation? What is physical address? What is logical address? And what is virtual memory? Why we will use a virtual memory? Okay, so what are the advantages with virtual memory? These are the different terms like I explained. Uh, I gave the brief about this different terms. So far. Okay, so this is like intro about this virtual memory and which is available in between the MMU. MMU will be called as a main memory unit. Okay, I like memory management unit. So it is in between the processor and the cache, and so this virtual address is for the MMU. Okay, this virtual address is for the MMU. That MMU we are taking it as a virtual memory. Fine. So physical addresses are for the RAM and the virtual addresses are logically mapped onto the main memory. Fine. And this MMU we are calling it as a virtual memory. So this is about the virtual memory, and this link also I will share with you people. Okay. Uh, that's it. This is the last concept in the third unit. So I'm done.